So this is my final presentation for my leadership studies capstone. It's on a storytelling campaign to build resiliency among college students during COVID-19. So we're going to start this presentation with a bit of an experience. Here's an Instagram post from the earlier stages of quarantine that helped me with processing my emotions. Let's watch. So my first reaction to watching this was, wow, she really posted herself screaming and cursing and slamming a pillow and bawling onto Instagram. The rawness of it shocked me, but by the end I was crying myself, feeling completely connected to her pain, and found myself releasing all the grief, fear, and sadness I had been bottling from experiencing COVID upending my final semester at Hopkins. What did this video give me? Permission to feel lots of uncomfortable, undesirable emotions, shifted my attention to a place where I could reach those feelings, which is pretty difficult to do in the constant state of denial many of us are living in to get by, and gave me a tool for dealing, conscious emotional release. While I've learned the hard way that setting limits on my time on social media is crucial for maintaining my mental well-being, I also found an unexpected surge of community and helpful guidance in my Instagram feed, prompted by the whole world going through a similar, terrible experience and the kind of radical vulnerability that thrives in this lovely corner of Instagram. So the mental health environment on college campuses was not great before coronavirus happened. According to the American College Health Association, among undergraduate students in the past 12 months, 60% had felt overwhelming anxiety, 45% felt so depressed it was difficult to function, and 7% had considered suicide. So with COVID-19 and students being sent home being the new norm across the US, a whole new stream of stressors has entered college students' lives. They've been uprooted from their community and confined in their childhood home. In addition, financial pressures and uncertainty about the future are additional stressors. Before COVID, teens tended to look at screens for over 7 hours a day, and that was before COVID left them stuck in their houses and desperate for entertainment. As being isolated at home has led to an increasing amount of time spent online consuming media, many teens have taken to processing this time on social media like TikTok. Here are 2 examples of coping with quarantine on TikTok. We've got a girl who took inspiration from an iconic Britney Spears song and adapted the lyrics to her frustration with quarantine, and another shows the ridiculous, hilarious lengths people are going to in order to entertain themselves in their home. While content like this may provide a temporary relief and a laugh, the distraction quickly fades and leaves the real work of processing emotions undone. A broad body of research links social isolation and loneliness to poor mental health, and recent data shows that sheltering in place has a significant negative effect on mental health. In a college environment, some of the most important predictors of mental health and some of the biggest factors that have been targeted in terms of prevention have been trying to foster a sense of belonging and connection for students. And this is the part of students' lives that has taken the biggest hit from social distancing. So what's the most powerful way to reach college students? The short answer is the same way as reaching any group of people, but online and cater to the interests and formats of young people. So this is going to be a combination of storytelling and vulnerability spread on social media. Stories are the way we understand and make sense of the world we find ourselves in, says Claire Patty, director of the Empathy Museum. Narrative is by far the most impactful method of communication that humans have. The human brain is hardwired for narrative. Some of the outcomes from storytelling are psychological research shows that stories can provide social proof, which can prompt behavior change. So for example, if I watch a video of one of my peers being vulnerable and sharing about their experiences, but committed to taking care of themselves, I start to think, hey, that's normal, and I'm more likely to do it myself. There are also benefits for the storyteller themselves. Mental health benefits of forming a narrative of one's life have been proven and replicated across age, gender, culture, social class, and personality type. So for vulnerability, most of you have probably heard of Brené Brown. She's made quite a splash in the world of business and leadership. A popular quote of hers is that vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, and empathy. It is a source of hope and authenticity. If we want greater clarity in our purpose or deeper and more meaningful spiritual lives, vulnerability is the path. And this is exactly what we need in this historical moment. Vulnerability is at the heart of building trust, communication, and connection. As Patrick Lencioni's work suggests, building meaningful communities requires trust, and the best way to establish trust is to practice vulnerability. At some point in our lives, we have all experienced the power of reading a vulnerable story, seeing ourselves in the story, and feeling liberated by knowing we aren't alone in how we feel and are left inspired to press on. By combining these two powerful tools, taking advantage of modern technology, and channeling it into a format ideal for our target audience, we can achieve astounding impact. So the campaign will mainly feature stories of self-care. I'm looking for a storytelling campaign around how youth are using this time of isolation to feel their feelings, especially the bad ones, get to know themselves better, and get serious about self-care. I'm looking for stories that weave together pain, sending the message that no one is alone in their suffering, plus practical tools that have helped them cope, like setting a timer on social media apps, FaceTiming a friend or family member every day, or getting into nature as much as possible, or journaling through your feelings. So the implementation plan is going to start off with interviewing college students willing to share their story, and then compiling them and sharing them as a film circulated on social media. Pieces of meme-like content will be circulated to get people thinking about themes related to our message and generate interest and further engaging with our longer form content. And then I plan to compile and share the wisdom of adult role models prioritizing their mental health and well-being, channeling the awesome effects of vulnerability on social media that I currently witness on my feed. And all these pieces of content will be circulated organically on Facebook through personal networks, as well as by paid advertising. So for measurement, quantitatively, I'll be looking at number of likes, comments, shares, views, etc. And qualitatively, the more important metric here really is comments and messages from people that were profoundly impacted by our content. Additionally, pending IRB approval, I'll contact people who commented or messaged and measure any long-term changes that resulted from the campaign. Humans are incredibly resilient. In tough times, we feel deeply, search inside ourselves, survive, and adapt and build new ways of being in response. This is a storytelling campaign aimed at drawing out the bravery and resilience of a few to magnify and inspire these qualities in all of us. Imagine if everyone used this time to sit with themselves, learn to better take care of their mind, and develop more compassion for themselves and others.